The following program contains names, places, and events that have been anonymized or fictionalized for the purposes of protection and safety. The following program is provided for entertainment purposes only, and any commentary from the hosts are strictly conjecture and should not be held as making any definitive statements about the truth or identity of any particular individuals or circumstances. If you or a loved one are involved in an abusive relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1 800 799 7233 for support.
Happy Dating Detectives Monday.
Hello and Happy New Year.
Happy
2026.
New Year. And I'm in the studio.
I know,
in
and I'm
LA.
not.
I know. I bet it's just me and Molly here. And now Hannah is the one that remote.
Far away. Can we talk real quick before we get into the story about some New Year's resolutions?
Oh, yes, let's do it.
So we thought of a good one. Will apply to some of you maybe. If you are
hopefully
a listener, who is in a relationship where you have noticed a red flag, where you've had some behaviors happen where you're like, ooh, dogfishy, maybe? What else?
If you just feel like there's just something not right and you're like, oh, my femtuition is going off so hardcore, we really want to empower you to dump them.
Your New Year's resolution is to dump them. Put that on the vision board.
If you have this feeling in your gut or in your heart or in your brain, and it's just like these spidey senses are tingling and you just know it, I hope this is your empowerment.
This story is a good one because we talk about how your femtuition can be going off and you tell yourself that's not enough of a reason to throw in the towel.
It's not a good enough reason.
Let us remind you that it is. You don't need a reason.
Yeah, you really don't. You don't need a reason. It's just a matter of what you feel. So just trust your femtuition. Okay, let's make that our New Year's resolution. Trust your femtuition.
And define femtuition for you, whether that's with a therapist, with journaling. Think about your past. You can really think about what that little voice sounds like because it's different for everybody. And if you know yours is going off, then you know yours is going off. You know?
100%. So yay.
Let us know. Let us know how that goes. Dating Detectives Podcast on all platforms.
Thank you guys for being here and listening. Today we have a really cool guest, and I love her perspective as someone who's a true crime girl.
Yes.
And I love that she's sharing her story, but she never actually met this person.
Yeah, it's not
which is kind of
our
interesting.
usual type of story, but we thought it was important because it's very
She had a different
informative.
perspective.
It's very informative about a scam. And her perspective going in was she was informed. She watches Dateline like nobody's business. Like she knows what to look out for. And it still happened to her. So it can happen to anybody, and she's great.
So we're really excited for you to meet her. She's an amazing guest, an amazing storyteller. And let's jump right in. Let's let our audience hear her.
Mary, take it away. Mary, thank you for joining us. We've got Mackenzie in LA in a studio. I'm in Vegas. We're all over the place. But you are here. And that's what
Thank you for being here, Mary.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
I really appreciate you coming on to share what I'm certain will be a very vulnerable story, as they usually are. But thank you because the sense of community that our guests create and encourage is amazing. So thank you in advance.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to sharing and letting other people know. So hopefully we can keep other people safe.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. Well, we would love it if you would take it away for us. You have the floor.
Sure. So I had decided that I was going to try online dating. I have been very anti-online dating for a long time. I'm a true crime person. I love watching documentaries and specials, anything that comes out. I'm like, well, I must see that. And I am just, I always put myself in the story. I'm like, that's going to be like, I'm the person who is going to hit somebody with a frying pan and not run away.
Yes.
I'm just going to stay in the room because I'm going to assume it worked. And, every time, I'm always convinced like, oh gosh, no, that'll be me. So I was like, no, I'm not trying online dating. I am certain that will not end well.
That would definitely be my luck.
Yeah. Like I'll be a Dateline special. Like I knew it. And so finally my friends convinced me like, all right, you should try it. And I said, all right, I'll give it a shot and see how it goes. So I opened a couple profiles. I used Hinge and Bumble. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot and put some thought into my profile and what I was going to do. Cause I was at this point certain, I'm here to make it an honest attempt.
Mhm.
Like I'm going to put what I can and go with that.
Can I ask
Yeah.
what your relationship experience had been like up till now?
Yes, I am a magnet for a red flag. I don't pick the right guys often. My last relationship was a number of years ago. It was a very dysfunctional relationship. It is part of the reason why I moved out of the location I was in was I needed to get away and kind of, have a restart.
Start fresh.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
left that.
But that's a lot to be going into dating apps.
Yeah.
With Dateline plus red flag
Right.
collection.
It's a
Right.
lot.
Yeah.
That's
But
some
yeah,
anxiety.
I was looking for a serious relationship. So I was really making an effort to, put in a serious tone. So making sure like my pictures, they were fun, but they were still somewhat me and true to me and not who I thought somebody might be looking for. So really honest attempt. And I got a few matches here and there. It wasn't crazy. And I talked to somebody and they'd ghost. I feel like that was the most common
Oh
was
my
everyone just
God.
kind of
I hate ghosting. That's happened to me so much. It's so
right.
annoying.
Was it like ghosting in the app or once you started texting?
Ghosting in the app. So I got a message. It was on Hinge and he was good looking. He had a bunch of interesting pictures. Like they weren't just him in his car, like they were him clearly traveling and doing other things and activities. And we started talking back and forth, and he was funny. He was charming. Like he was genuinely interested. He was asking good questions. And we felt like even talking, we just felt like two friends that were catching up. Like that was the feel and the tone
Best.
of the conversations. And he told really amazing stories, just these really detailed and kind of eloquent stories. And then he would often send photos that actually matched his story. So, like, he was talking about his
Oh,
best friend and his wife.
photo
And then he
evidence.
would send a
Okay.
picture of the best friend and the wife. Or he talked about his assistant a lot. And so he sent a picture of his assistant. So, like, it seemed to be genuine and connecting.
Mm.
So he was fun. He was really interesting and super attentive, which, I mean, every woman wants to be paid. When I'm talking to you, please pay attention. So it was just really nice to have him just be so engaged in the conversation and not tuned out.
It's a good feeling when someone cares enough to ask you questions about yourself.
And on apps, you don't know if anybody's serious or if they just
Yeah.
want to hook up. So if they're putting that much energy
Mhm.
in.
Yeah, like his stuff just seemed like an effort was there, which kind of started making me think, okay, well, maybe he is legitimate and this is maybe a decent guy. That might be fun that I met somebody online. That'd be fun. Okay. And there were a lot of things, and this sounds weird, but we would share things and we had a lot in common, but it wasn't after I shared. Like we would talk about something and I would ask for his perspective. And when he would tell me, I would be like, oh, that's really weird because that's actually what I was about to say. Like it's something as random as we were talking about food. And he was going to this one restaurant and I said, oh, do you have a go to menu item that you typically order? And his was exactly what I would order. And it was just funny little things like that we were like, this is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it wasn't after I said something and then he just agreed. I would ask first and then he would respond with
Why
something
does it
that was
sound too good to be
aligned.
true?
Right. So I was like, okay, this guy's pretty great. So we talked for a little while, a few days there. And then he was like, hey, do you want to go off the app? And do you want a text message? And I was like, all right. I mean, the app is kind of a pain. I didn't have notifications because I don't want them popping up all the time. So,
Same.
if I did message, I often didn't know. So I was like, yeah, sure, we can text. So he sent a few text messages and then he asked about going on WhatsApp. And I was like, okay, I really didn't know much about WhatsApp. I do now.
Why?
Because he has an Android.
And no, he wanted to go on WhatsApp. He was iPhone. He wanted to go on WhatsApp because his explanation was he could have it up at work on his computer and wouldn't miss my messages because he would be able to see them
I can see
even
that.
when he
I can
wasn't
see that.
Okay.
able to have
Okay.
his
Yeah, I
phone.
can too. If he doesn't have a Mac, I could see it. What does he do for work?
So he was in finance. He's
Okay.
a finance guy, consultant type work. So he would help people building their portfolios, and he would go in and work with companies around financial strategy
I
and
can
things
see
like
that
that.
because
Sure.
you can. Okay, that makes sense to
I
me.
could see it too.
Yeah. And that was it, right? When he was like, well, I can have it on my computer. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet. Like, he doesn't want to miss my messages. So that fed into that kind of like, oh, he's this considerate guy that really cares. And so I was like, oh, okay. I just kind of was like, yeah, sure. I guess that's fine. We can do that. So we went ahead and we started the app. What's that?
I talk about it a lot, but I think financial freedom is one of the most important things we can do for our safety and our independence in relationships, especially as women. It's so important to take ownership of that. And managing your money doesn't have to be a struggle this year. Monarch is the all in one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts, investments, net worth, future planning. It puts it together in one dashboard on your laptop or phone. So start your new year on the right foot financially and get 50% off your Monarch subscription with code DATING. Monarch has made it so easy for me to track my spending. And, you don't realize how much you're spending on takeout or on little things that you thought were no big deal, like subscriptions. It's just nice to have it all in one place. I also definitely use it to track progress towards future financial goals. It's easier than ever to just stay financially fit, is a nice way to think of it, especially as we set our New Year's resolutions. Monarch helped users save over $200 per month on average after joining, and 8 out of 10 members feel more in control of their finances with Monarch. This new year, achieve your financial goals for good. Monarch is the all in one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code DATING at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code DATING. Y'all, I have to tell you, my mom and I are similar. She's a better cook than me, but we're both not like natural chefs per se. But she's really been on a kick of like TikTok recipes and stuff. So I am staying with her right now and I got my Green Chef meals delivered. And she was so excited. And then when we made them, okay, what did we make? We made like a shrimp salad thing. It was so good. And then we made a pork recipe, but we substituted it with chicken and it was perfect and it was easy. Basically, my mom was just blown away that she kind of thought something like Green Chef was maybe not as good as it is, and as she's now getting it herself. So every Green Chef box, it delivers certified organic produce and responsibly sourced proteins and seafood. And that means avoiding ultra processed fillers. So it's actually healthy. And that's some of the most important thing we can do for ourselves. It's not eating bad food. It's eating food that comes from a good place. And Green Chef makes that so easy. You can reach wellness goals. I do the Mediterranean plan, but they have high protein, high fiber, plant-based, and more, whatever you need. And like I said, you can substitute stuff. It just sends you exactly what you need. They do the research, the meal planning, the grocery shopping, and all you do is have low prep, low mass meals for any lifestyle. It's also better for the planet. Green Chef cuts food waste by 20% versus grocery shopping, and it offsets 100% of delivery emissions. So we love that. I use this and you should too. And we have a fun deal right now with their free Graza olive oil. So right now you can go to greenchef.com/datingdetectivesgraza and use code datingdetectivesgraza. It's Dating Detectives Graza to get started with 50% off Green Chef and free Graza olive oil sent in your second and third boxes. This 50% off offer is only available for a limited time, so don't wait. That's code Dating Detectives Graza at greenchef.com/Dating Detectives Graza. And all of the info for all of our sponsors are in the show notes.
So we'd been talking for a while, pretty consistently at this point, and he made a mention of doing a video call. And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. Let's do that. And so we made the plans like, okay, we're going to do this call this time, so on and so on. And he was on a business trip and he would be like, oh, this came up. I now have to be here for the client. I have to go over here. My assistant needs me. Like all these things kept coming up. And it was getting later and later and later. And I quite frankly, was getting annoyed. And I'm like,
I
okay,
would too.
Same.
I
I
you
would
know
be
what?
too.
I kind of don't care anymore. I kind of want to just disconnect and go to bed, to be honest. So finally, I was like, you know what? It's late. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So we'll have to just do this another time. Have a good night, whatever. Immediately calls me. And I'm like, of course, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we'll answer. So I answer the phone. And I had to fix my hair first, but I'm like, okay, no, I was ready. So I pick up the phone and it's dark out, right? So it's nighttime. It's late. It's actually very late. So, we don't have like bright light. We have lamps on. So it was a little dark. And I was like, that's kind of weird. So it was dim. He's got a baseball hat on and we talk and he's, telling me that he's sorry that all these things came up. And,
This is on the FaceTime.
This is on FaceTime.
Not on the WhatsApp.
Well, actually, I think it's on the WhatsApp.
Okay.
Sorry, it is. You're right. It was on the WhatsApp. And I'm tired. And again, I'm still kind of annoyed. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Now, in my mind, I've never thought like, you can't fake, like, I can see you. This is who you are. I see your face. He kept messing with something. There was like something on the table next to him or whatever. So he kept messing with something. I didn't think much of it. And I was like, all right, well, he's like, oh, I don't want to keep you up. And I've kept you up so long. And I'm going to let you go to bed. But I just wanted to make sure I saw your face and so on and so on. So we get off the phone. It was a matter of minutes, right? It wasn't like we had spent any great deal of time, but I felt in the moment like, okay, I saw him. Like,
Yeah.
that was legitimate. We're good to go. So we continue talking and we are now like all day, every day, but it's like normal conversation. Like it's not all the get to know you stuff. It's more of like here's what, I have this meeting and, we're going to this restaurant and his one friend was going with him. And so he sent me a picture of his friend at the restaurant with him, or he'd send me a picture of what they ordered or, things like that. Things that were, again, reinforcing his story. So my friends are very skeptical. And my friends are
What
like,
made them the most skeptical?
We love them.
He seemed
Men in general?
Yeah.
Too
No,
good to be
just kidding.
true.
He's a male. No, they were like, this seems great and all, but it just seems a little too great.
Too good to be true. Okay. So your friends were like, femtuition, I don't know.
Right.
Also, I think there's a sweet spot of amount of time to talk before you meet with someone.
Right. And they're like,
And
why
I feel
haven't
like
you
we're
guys
just
met?
over it. Yeah.
And I was like, well, he's on this business trip. He's coming back. And they're like, okay. Well, the one is like a total detective. She loves it. And she can find just about anything.
I like her.
So we're like, all right, send us some details. And so I sent them what I had. I sent them some photos that he had sent me. I sent detail like his birthday and stuff like that, the basic details. And the one thing that they wanted, like apparently when you send a message on iPhone, it tags it with certain details. Like it might tag it with, if they have their location on it, might tag a location, might tag a date. Well, when you're on WhatsApp, you don't get that. It doesn't do that anymore. So the things I was sending to them didn't have any of those tags or anything. And I mean, by now it's multiple friends. Like now multiple friends are in this chat group and everyone's looking. We couldn't find anything.
What? Like no sign of him?
No sign of him. Yeah. So he had also told me he moved to the US. He grew up internationally and he moved here probably, I think it was like 12 years ago.
Like from Europe, from
Canada.
Canada, okay.
From Canada. And he sent me on WhatsApp. And on WhatsApp, you can actually set a timer. So the picture disappears as soon as they open it.
Kind of like
he
Snapchat.
He sent me an image of his green card for the US.
Oh no.
And I was like, as I looked at it, and I'm like, okay, well, that looks like, because I looked it up first.
Hannah's like, I done that.
I was like, okay, wait. And then it disappeared. So I couldn't double check it. But for the most part, I'm like, well, that all looked like what I saw online. So, okay. But my friends, I wasn't quite suspicious yet. I was still a little like, he keeps telling me that he is a total digital guy. Like he's a real nerd when it comes to computers and technology, and everything he does is based in technology. So maybe he found a way to like get it all off the internet.
Scrub himself.
Yeah. My friends did reverse searches on all the pictures. Nothing came up. So again, I'm a little skeptical. I'm like, in my mind, in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's weird that you wouldn't like, you don't have a LinkedIn. You don't have, you said you have Instagram at some point. I know you said it.
He
So
did.
yeah, like he had
Okay.
mentioned Instagram at some point. So I'm like,
Okay.
so how would I not find you?
Did you,
Oh,
and
okay.
did you ask
Also, I
him?
feel like that industry.
Well,
Sure.
that's just it, right? He's finance. I'm thinking you got to have a profile. You're running a team. So this,
Yeah.
the way you've described it, it sounds like your business. So
Right.
wouldn't
But
you have a
good question.
website?
Yeah.
So when the only thing he did when I questioned, I'm like, it's really interesting, and I was trying to be casual about it because I didn't want to come out as necessarily accusatory. I'm also a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I got to tiptoe around this. I don't want to upset him. So it was when he showed me the green card and he's like, here, like, I showed you, like, this is me. And I was like, all right. He was in his 40s, mid 40s. Again, has this career that apparently makes him a lot of money. He talks about all this travel he does. So, again, in the back of my mind, there was that something is off, but I wasn't quite there yet.
It's like a spidey sense that is like it's starting to creep in, but you're like, okay, I don't have enough yet, but there's something not
Yeah, I want
right.
evidence.
Right. I started asking more questions, but I never came right out and was like, you have to be lying. You're not on Instagram. Or like I kind of made passive comments about
Like, oh my gosh, I
being
found this
able to
video. I want to
find him.
share it with you. What's your Instagram?
Yeah,
I have to send this to you.
right. And if he was answering, he gave a very confident answer, a very potentially legit answer.
Mhm.
So I would be like, huh. All right. He's this crypto guy, this security guy. So he must know these things. He must know things I don't.
Yeah.
And he was very open. Like when I would ask questions, he had an answer. He didn't skate around them. I was talking about you, tell me about your family. And he told me about his mom and his father had passed away when he was young. I also lost my mother when I was young. So we kind of had something to connect on. He told me up front that his wife had passed away. He had been married, his wife had passed away. And I think I mentioned he's a really good storyteller. And he tells me this beautiful story about him and his wife and how they met and their life together. And then that she was a nurse. And that as a nurse, she was sent to New York City to help with the COVID pandemic during COVID. And that she was there for a while. And he, told me a little bit about how their interactions were. And then he tells me how she got sick and he would FaceTime with her. And then the one night he was FaceTiming with her and she closed her eyes and passed away. And the way he had told this story was so emotional and so
Oh,
like
man.
I was crying listening to him tell this story. And I also lost my father to COVID. So it was, again, another point at which it connected with me in kind of a deeper way, where it struck something that's, still kind of a trigger even for me. So it was just this beautiful story. And it was a very loving story, which gave me this impression of him being this loving husband and this wonderful person who, he talks about cooking her dinner. She was a nurse, so he would always cook her dinner after she had worked a long shift and things like that just again built this person to me that I am looking for, right? That's who wouldn't want a guy who's gonna make you dinner or surprise you by taking you out to a nice restaurant one night when you don't feel like cooking and have this emotional response to his connection with you. So I think those were some of the things that early on built a little sense of trust. So that actually moved us into our first conversation talking about cryptocurrency. So he starts talking about it. He's mentioned it a few times in talking about his clients and what he does, but he's never full on talked about crypto until we get to this conversation. And I was like, oh, crypto's really interesting. We hear about it all the time.
Now, just real quick, Mary, what kind of field of work do you do? Is finance and crypto, like, is that something you guys had in
No,
common?
I work in human resources. So I probably should have said this earlier. I spend all of my time working with people and talking to people and having conversations about difficult situations. You think I would
Yep.
be picking up on things like red flags and things like that a little bit, maybe
Hey,
quicker.
listen, even therapists need
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, right. I'm very good at it when I'm in a like a work situation, but when it's my own personal,
But you're both professionals, so
yes.
you were talking about things that you were interested in together as,
Right.
kinda learning about each other's.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it was just kind of like he would share little things about it and I would ask questions. I'm a very curious person, so I do ask a lot of questions. I got to know the detail. I want to understand something. So he would explain crypto
Mhm.
and then I would go and Google it. Like I would Google what, or chat GPT actually is what I would use. I would chat GPT whatever he said to me. One, to have it interpreted in language I can understand. And two, to be like,
So you
Yeah.
felt like not an
right,
idiot when you're talking
exactly.
to him.
And then I also wanted to see like, is what
Yeah.
he's saying real? Like, I want to verify
That's so
that
smart.
what he's saying is actually how this works. So everything came up legitimate. Everything he talked about was
Okay.
the right terminology, even the hows and the whys. Like when he would talk about how it works and what the process is, even that stuff checked out. Like, yes, it is very fast paced. It
Okay.
is timing matters and this and that. So I was learning a lot. I felt like it was really super interesting. So he finally says, "Hey, do you want to try it?" Now, I, yes, do want to try it. However, I'm smart, right? I'm an intelligent woman. And I'm like,
Oh.
no, are you crazy? I have read Google, I've watched Dateline. This is not something I'm going to pursue. So, no, I don't want to do it. And he kept trying and would go other routes and say things like no was a negotiation for him. But he
Yeah.
wasn't super pushy about it. Like, he wasn't hard. It was more like, oh, this is why you should try it and blah, blah, blah. Like he was more reassuring, yeah, of why I should do it.
Would he do
Yeah.
the thing where he would go and talk about another subject?
Hmm.
Like, "Oh, by the way, oh my gosh, I saw this really pretty bird outside my window." And then you talk about
Yeah,
that for a little while, and then somehow he would circle it back to the crypto.
always came back to crypto.
Yep.
And he wanted me to do this. He wanted me to try it. I kept saying no, but he's like, hey, there's a simulation app that you can, or a simulation version you can use. So let's try it. Let's just, that way you get a sense for how this works. And
Wait.
finally, yeah,
So it like you don't put money in, but it
you
just
don't put
shows you
money
the
in.
steps?
You can walk through the steps with pretend money. So we did the simulator and he did not send me any links. So oftentimes when you look up romance scams, they tell you don't send them any money. He
Yep.
never asked me for money to be sent to him,
Definitely.
and don't use links that they send to you. I
Right.
never did
Yes.
either of those things.
Because people can build a website that looks legit
Yes.
and they can make it so when you invest money into it, you get money back so that you trust it. And then they get you. Okay. Anyway.
And you can do that with apps too, I have learned.
Oh,
So
shit.
yeah. So I was like, all right, we tried the simulation. To be honest, it was kind of fun. I gotta be, it was fun. It was exciting.
So it's pretend
It's
money,
pretend
and you're
money.
learning how to do the
Yes,
crypto.
you're learning how you do the exchange. The money pops up and then it shows you where you're at and you got this money and your investment has now increased and like now your pocket of money is bigger. Like it was kind of exciting and fun. Like
It's a game. It's like
yeah.
a game.
Yes, yes. So I am now like, okay, I kind of get this. I'm starting to understand the terminology and do all that stuff. After we did the simulation though, now it was, well, don't you want to try it in for real? Like think about
Oh,
I know,
boy.
you think about like if you put in,
He gave you the
yep,
gateway
he's
drug.
like, if you put in money, and I don't think he even said an amount at first. It was like, if you put in money, you could use this to pay off your student loans, which I have a lot of student loans. You could use it to go on a trip. We should go on a trip. And we've now
Mm,
built this
mm.
connection of trusting, and he's built this sense of this is legit and real. Again, he's starting to use a lot more relationshipy language, which was a little off-putting to me because I'm like, we really haven't
Oh,
known
I
each
like
other
that.
very
Yeah, you
long.
still don't
Relationshipy
know each other in
Like, yeah,
person,
we still
too.
have not met. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about
Had
that.
you talked about meeting or anything?
Yes, but he was still on his business trip, and now his business trip got
Okay.
extended. What was 2 weeks?
How long had it been now?
It had been like 3 weeks at this point, 3, 4 weeks.
Okay.
And
Okay.
his trip keeps getting extended. And it's a big client, so he has to be there for this. And so Eventually he was like, we started, he would joke with me, like, you're getting so good at this crypto stuff, you could take my job. Like, you understand it. Like, you're talking about it like I do.
Feeding an unmet need, making you feel so special and so cool. Like, you're so smart. You've got this nailed. Are you ready to do this?
And if you think he's smart, oh, that feels good to feel
Oh,
smart.
yeah. I think,
too.
yeah.
And this guy that you're attracted to is saying it to you. So that feels
It's
good.
like getting an A on a test, right? Like, every time he would ask me a question and I would respond, and he'd be like, oh, you got that right, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got it right. I get a star or a sticker or whatever.
I'm a broken record, but financial independence is so important for safety. It's a part of women's independence and safety and growth and relationships that we tend to overlook because nobody likes to talk about it. And your credit is obviously a headache that is so important to your well-being overall. I wish I knew how credit actually worked and how to build credit earlier. But luckily, we get to partner with Ava, which is such an easy way to build your credit. Ava is a credit building app that's designed to work fast and help your credit score where it really matters. So your credit score can start climbing with almost like zero effort. Instead of a secured card that locks up a deposit and takes weeks, Ava can approve you in 5 minutes with up to a $2,500 credit limit and no credit check. So basically, you pay your monthly subscriptions like usual with the Ava credit builder card, and Ava reports your on-time payments to all major credit bureaus, helping you build solid credit history very quickly. So Ava members improve their scores by an average of 30 points in 30 days. That's amazing. They have over 2 million downloads, and it's the highest rated credit building app on Trustpilot with the most 5-star reviews. And Ava can now report your rent, utility, and phone bills automatically, even up to 24 months of past payments, so your everyday payments help build your credit faster. Take control of your credit today. Download the Ava app, AVA, and when you join using our promo code DATING20, you'll get 20% off your first year, monthly or annual, your choice. Again, grab the Ava app and use our promo code DATING20 so they know you heard it from us, and you'll get 20% off any plan for up to a year. That's promo code DATING20. Thanks to Ava. Now go get yourself good credit. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Huge advocates for therapy over here for everyone, whether you think you need it or not. The new year, it doesn't require a new you, maybe just a less burdened you, and therapy can help. You just have an easier way of identifying what weighs you down, what holds you back. It's an unbiased perspective, a better understanding of your relationships, better understanding of your emotions. It's something you can do for the people in your life. I talk through things with my therapist before I talk through difficult things with people in my life because it makes those conversations better for everyone. And now, obviously, with the new year, we're all kind of thinking about it. Now's a really wonderful time to get that help. And the reason I love BetterHelp is because I know people in my personal life who never went to therapy because the schedule didn't work for them. It was too difficult to find someone that fit, or it was too expensive. And BetterHelp was the gateway for them into finding a match because it works with your schedule. It's virtual and it can be affordable. They're very quality therapists. They work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. And BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. It's a short questionnaire. It helps you identify your needs. And also, it's very easy to switch therapists or to work with your schedule. They have over 30,000 therapists. It's one of the world's largest online therapy platforms. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/TDD. That's betterhelp.com/TDD.
So now we start talking about the relationship, because now he's starting to use the relationship language, because he's talking about, again, building a future together and what we could do with our money and going on a trip. And I keep having some doubts, and I think he's sensing that I'm not quite bought in yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts talking about children and
No,
who do I want
okay.
children, and blah blah blah, and how much he wants children, and he is very set on having children. And part of the problem is I didn't date for the first little while that I was here, when I moved here, because I was having medical issues. And as it turned out, I have a very rare form of cancer. And that
No.
cancer, part of the treatment, required that I had to have my ovaries removed. So I am actually not able to have children. So the
Oh,
more he
Mary.
keeps
Oh my
talking about
gosh.
having children and how we are going to have children, I was like, I got to say something. Like I can't let this go. Like we are on very different pages. And this would be the first time that I was sharing with a romantic partner my cancer story. And also the first time that I would be sharing with anybody the fact that I cannot physically have children. So, very emotional, very difficult thing for me to do. It's the first time I'm doing this. I share it with him, and he gives me the most caring, kind response that you could imagine.
Oh.
Like, it was first, of course, it was addressing that I'm sorry that this is the case. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I'll be there for you. And my cancer doesn't require chemotherapy or anything. I get like a monthly injection. He's like, I'll come with you to your appointments. You don't have to do this alone. I will be here. And if we decide down the road that we want children, there are plenty of other ways to have children. It's totally okay.
So he's acknowledging, sympathizing, and telling you that he'll support you and giving you all the things that, wow.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I definitely feel like we've had guests before who, when they have something like that, I can't have children, I have a background that I don't know,
Mhm.
some people wouldn't approve of. It makes it harder to, you have this scarcity mindset of like, maybe somebody won't
Yes.
want to be with me because of it.
Yes.
Did you have that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That I was so nervous, going through that experience was an incredibly emotional experience. Like when I went into surgery, it was, hey, we're going to go in. There are tumors. We are bringing in another specialist to do that part of the surgery. We will determine whether or not we have to take both in all of your ovaries or if we can leave part of it. So going in a little unknowing, right? Because I didn't know what was going to happen, and waking up after surgery and having them say there was nothing we could do. I mean, we had to take both. It was a little heartbreaking because even if I was thinking, I don't know if I want kids, there wasn't a decision to be made. The decision was made for me. It was done. I would not be physically able to carry my own children. So as I'm looking at every time I would see a guy who was like, have kids, want kids, or whatever, like I would be like, oh my gosh, these guys nobody's gonna want me if I can't have kids. So having to tell somebody that is terrifying. Having to tell somebody that you have cancer is scary also, even though I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like I'm okay. This is livable. I'm gonna live with this. I'm fine. It's still a scary thing to do. And having that be him be the first time I had to do it, and then doing it and getting this very positive, warm, I want to wrap my arms around you and hold you and let you cry while you process. Like, you couldn't ask for a better response. That to me, that conversation was a really big defining trust moment between us when I started, even not that a red flag wouldn't have still struck me, but like I would have been more likely to be like, well, he explained it, because now I've built this, like, look at this wonderful response he gave me in this very caring, considerate response.
You want it to work with him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he made you feel so good about it. So then what happened after that?
He talked more about like our future and all this stuff. And he kind of dropped the crypto for a little bit and focused just on, again, reinforcing that we could have this great relationship. And now he knows about these things and how much he cares and wants to take care of me, and not in like a overbearing way, just to support me. So that went on for, a little while. And then we circled back, like we said earlier. Now we come back to crypto.
After how long?
Maybe a week.
Wow.
But now the pressure comes back in, and now we're focused on our future, and that I should do this to support our future, because now it's not just my future, it's what we're building together. So
it's kind of guilting you.
Yeah. So why don't you should invest. Let's try it with real money. It doesn't have to be a lot, but let's do it. And I agree. I'm like, all right. So he has me download the Coinbase app. There is an app called Coinbase Wallet, which I think now it's just called Base. those are legitimate trading platform apps. So those are legitimate apps. And an app called Tickmill. Mill is a legitimate company. What we find out is, there's obviously more to that story, but Tickmill itself is a legitimate company. So when you Google them or Chat GPT them, as I searched for each,
It's a
it is
legit
legit
company.
company. Like I said, he never sent me links. I went into the App Store myself and downloaded these 3 apps. I did not share my passwords. I did not share my logins. Every time he had me send him, like, he's like, well, send me a screenshot so I can see what screen you're on. He would be like, but make sure that you scroll down because I don't want to see your account name or I don't want to see the numbers. Like,
He's
Oh,
making it clear, I don't need to see
right,
your account
right. So
information.
really cautious about
Did
it.
he, real quick, after he was so sympathetic about your situation, about your cancer and not being able to have children, did that make you feel like, were you 100% in, or were you still kind of skeptical? Like, I still don't know, but he was really sympathetic, so I think I can trust him.
Great question. I would say I was all in. There was something in the back of my mind that was like, this still seems fishy, but I was ignoring it. Like, I was full on ignoring it at this point. Like, yeah,
Okay, so Femtuition was
yes,
there. We ignored it because he
right.
offered that
Mhm.
sympathy, and now we appreciate that about him.
And like that idea that, like, I must be overthinking this. It's just my mind being, I'm overthinking.
It's just
yes.
me. Oh my
It's,
God, she's nailing it.
I'm
yes,
self-sabotaging.
I'm self-sabotaging. That's a big
Oh,
one for
girl.
me. It's like, oh my gosh, here's this great thing. And I'm so suspicious because I have to watch my Dateline that I'm here making up
Is this
stories.
Femtuition or am I overthinking?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Constant. And even if we realize it is femtuition, sometimes we're like, is that enough to end it?
Right.
Like, shouldn't I wait until there's something really bad?
Yes. Yes.
Ugh. Okay. Yeah.
So we go through, we do an initial trade. Again, it was fun. It was exciting. It was cool to see my money grow and how fast it happens. And like, it's just this kind of almost like a little rush.
Was there a certain amount that you invested and then like you watched that part?
Yeah, I just did a small amount at this point. So we agreed to start small. So we started with $1,000 and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do that.
Okay.
No big deal.
That seems reasonable.
And you said he didn't recommend, like,
He didn't come right out and give a dollar amount, but he was like, well, wait, let's try. What are you comfortable with? And I was like, well, nothing. Like, can I do $10? And
But everything you're doing, it's kind of like he's making it sound like it's your
right,
idea.
right.
He's not asking you for anything. He's basically laying the foundation saying, oh, you can, but only what you want.
Yes. So we do the trade and then he shows me how to withdraw my money. So I am actually able to withdraw my money. I take out some of
Okay.
the money and it goes right back into my personal accounts. And I was like, oh, okay. So at this point, I'm like, well, I haven't given him logins. I haven't given him passwords. He has no access to any of this. I downloaded these apps myself and I now know how to get my money out. Seems like I don't know what the scam is. Like I was fully aware of what I was doing, right? I fully knew, there's money being traded here. That is always going to have a potential for something. Like I'm not completely oblivious to that fact. But I would think through it and I'd be like, okay, I downloaded the apps, so I found them. I have the passwords. He doesn't. He didn't ask for this, so he doesn't have that. So I still have access to that money. So I'm like, so what's the scam? And when I would have conversations with people, like the few people that knew that anything was going on, and they'd be like, well, this is the scam. And I was like, but how could it be a scam? Like, here, I did this. And then I would come back with my little data points of like, but none of this happened. And they'd be like, oh. And I would say, so what's the
I guess,
scam?
yeah.
And they'd be like, well, I don't know what the scam is. And I asked him one time, I was like, why would you do this for somebody you actually have never met? Like, why would you,
That's a good question.
why would you want to do this? And he's like, well, because it's not just about you. It's about us. It's about our future together. And there we have again, the future thought of this is for both of us together mutually. And we're going to have this wonderful long-term relationship. So why wouldn't I do it? Like, I would, of course, somebody would want to help their future wife. Stuff like that would be usually the response if I questioned any of it.
Do you mind sharing how much it grew and how quickly?
The first one grew, we started with 1,000 and it grew to, I want to say it doubled.
Oh,
Yeah, like it
okay.
doubled. I just don't remember if it was any more. I know that it minimum doubled.
Sure.
Mhm.
So you're feeling
Okay.
good. You're
Right.
like,
And this is within like a couple weeks or something?
Yeah, like, well, like you do the trade, like the way that it happened, like you do the trade, and then it's almost like this little ticker thing goes, and then bam, the trade's complete. Here's, like, I had to set parameters and all this stuff, and then bam,
Oh,
here's what your
okay.
balance is now because the trade has
Wow.
happened. And I'm
So you were able to see it and you were like, okay, cool. Now it's a dopamine hit.
right.
ooh,
And I
yeah.
may not be, if there's crypto people listening, I may not be explaining that exactly in an eloquent or
No,
well
we get it.
explained way, but that was kind of how I interpret it. And so we keep talking, and he keeps suggesting more money, putting more money in and more money. And he's really hooked on to this student loans piece, right? Because he knows that that's a big stressor for me. So
Mhm.
student loans, he becomes very focused on, you should do more money so that way you can pay back your student loans.
Student loans, unmet
I'm
need.
like, okay,
Yep.
where do you think I'm getting all this money? Like, I like, I don't understand. I don't have like, I'm not fancy. Like, I don't have a ton of money, like just laying around for crypto trading. And at one point, there's some concern about obviously the job market right now. The job market isn't great. I work in an area that is a necessity, yes, for the company, but I also do some things that it's like, well, could we do with fewer?
Yeah.
When was this?
This would have been late summer. Late
This
summer?
year.
Yeah,
So
this
this
year.
is fresh.
Okay,
Yes,
so the last 6, 8
this
months,
all just happened starting in June
2025.
of 2025.
Okay.
Whew.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Wow.
economy's
Crazy.
not going well. Job
Mhm.
market's not going well. We see the numbers. And he's like, well, I mean, let's be real. You are at risk for losing your job. And I was like, well, yeah. So he gave me this whole spiel from a financial standpoint of what that means for me, and that my 401k, if the market keeps going the way it's going, my 401k could drop so low that,
Wow.
all this stuff. So at one point he's like, well, you should quit your job now. That way you get your full 401k. And
No, and invest
yeah.
it.
And I was like, no. Now we've hit it. That was a
That's a
line.
lot.
That was a line. And I was like, no, absolutely not.
Still
No,
have not met him in person.
not in person. And exactly. And I made a comment about, like, I have not met you in person. I actually really love my job. I love the people I work with. I would no, like, no. My job gives me more than,
$1,000 is one thing, but quitting your job and giving him your whole 401k is a whole nother ball of
and then
wax.
I was like, and also, like, there's more to my job than my 401k. There are so
Yeah.
many other things that my job gives me that I would not be willing to give up just so I
And
get
also, if you have a job
right.
that you like, that is
Right. It's important to you.
huge right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So he keeps pushing and going around all these other ways of how I could get more money, to get more money into the trading.
Ugh.
He has now convinced me to add more money from my savings. So I have been putting in more money, and it just keeps growing the amount that I should put in. Again, he's still on this work trip, and I'm getting really fed up. And I'm like, all right,
I would
I'm
be
done.
too.
Like, this is just ridiculous. And then all of a sudden he's coming home. He gives me the flight information, the time, all this stuff. He's coming home. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Finally, I finally get to meet him. I'm so excited to meet him. And we're talking about all these things we're going to go do when he gets home. And he's taking a week off from work so he can spend time with me and getting, so we can do things and stuff like that.
Because you expressed your frustration with him?
Yes. I didn't come right out and be like, are you kidding me? But I had started to be like, when he would make comments about things, like, oh, of course, those kind of passive, like, oh, of course you're delayed
He
again.
felt it.
Yeah. So now he is coming home. I have, again, flight information. I have everything. And he's coming home on a Friday. And on that Thursday before, conversation was kind of inconsistent, which was unusual for us. he up to this point was incredibly consistent. Like I knew he was going to message me in the morning. I knew he was going to message me when he came out of his meetings. Like at this point he was good about that. Like he did that stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew. And so Thursday before he's coming home on Friday, I'm like, "Oh, he's got a lot of stuff to close up and whatever." And then Thursday evening rolls around and I get a message and he's frantic. His stepfather, has been brought into the emergency room in New York City for a heart attack. He has to get on a plane to New York and he has to go.
Of course.
And I'm like, huh. And he's pouring out all this information. And I mean, I'm a good human. So I'm not going to be calling him and be like, oh, I think you're lying. Like that, I'm not going to do it in
Right,
that
but
moment.
your antenna did go up.
In my mind, I'm like, this
You were like,
this
yeah,
is
right.
too coincidental. Like I'm trying to be really nice here and be really understanding because again, I am trying to be kind, but this is fishy. Like this can't be real. So his responses to me start getting a little inconsistent. He's being very vague. I'm like, well, wait, you're traveling to New York City, so you would be in Eastern time. Why were you messaging me? Or what was, that doesn't make sense. Like timing wasn't adding up anymore because I'm like, well, gosh, it would have been really, and at one point I was like, it would have been the middle of the night. Like, why are you messaging me at what would have been
The math ain't
2:00 in the morning, New York City time? Oh, well, he was at the hospital. He stayed overnight with his stepfather in case he woke up. He's in the ICU.
It is a good excuse. You can twist it however
you can twist
need
it.
to. And
Yes, all kinds of things.
yeah.
And then he kept telling me I was like, "Oh, are you staying with your sister?" Because his sister lives in New York City. And he's like, "No, I'm staying at my house." And I'm like, What house?"
What?
And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I have a house on the what is it, the Upper East Side? Isn't that the fancy? That's the fancy side of New York, right?" Okay. So yeah, he's like, "I from the Upper East Side." And I'm like, "Oh, time out. You have a what?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I never told you." And I said, "Okay, well, why don't you send me a picture? I want to see it." I mean, if you live on the Upper East Side, I mean, that's pretty. I mean, you must be doing even better than I thought you were.
Oh, God.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm too tired." And I was like, "You're too tired for what? To send me a picture?"
Send me the Zillow link, babe.
So in
It's
in
fine.
my head, I go, this is a man who will literally take pictures of his food. You're telling me that you have a beautiful home on the Upper East Side and you don't already have pictures? That you would have to go out and take pictures? Like that doesn't add up. I'm like, no, something's really wrong here. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm really suspicious. Now, I'm not even like everything coming in, everything he's saying, I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like, you know what?
And it makes you think back about everything else too and be like, okay, wait.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to withdraw some of my money from this account and see what happens, right? And I'm just going to do it without him because he's with his dad. I don't want to interrupt his care time. So I'm just going to try it myself. So I go into the app.
Oh, no.
And I do exactly what he told me to do. And the whole app crashes. The app doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, my money must still be there. I guess I just need his help. Maybe I did something wrong. And I'm like,
when you say crashes, what do you mean? Like what?
Like
it completely freezes. Like you can't do
Okay.
anything. You can't click on anything. Nothing's moving. Refresh doesn't help. And I'm like, well, maybe I guess I'm going to have to tell him. So I tell him what I did. And instead of being kind and sweet, he gets mean and he's mad at me. And he keeps telling me, it's because you did it without me. You shouldn't have done this. I don't know what you were thinking.
What?
You haven't made enough trades yet. You have to have a certain number of trades. This is now going to flag your account for money laundering. And you're going to be in so much trouble. And
is that
how much money are we talking about on this withdrawal that he's losing his mind about?
That I tried to take out? I had tried to take out, I think like 500. Like I wanted to see if it would work.
Oh my gosh. I think you are able to take out your own
he assured
money
me
whenever.
Yes, he assured me back when we did this and we downloaded the apps that I was always in control of my money, that there was never a time where I could not have access to my money. But suddenly now it was all of these things that I couldn't do. And I'm like, Okay. So now I'm panicking. Now I'm like, oh my God, my money is all in there. What the heck? So I'm like, okay, he's going to take care of his dad. So I'm gonna do some more research. So
Yes.
I go out, I use Google, I use ChatGPT, and it just so happens that in my area there is a group of people who are crypto experts who do crypto stuff.
Oh,
And one of the gentlemen who kind of leads the group offers like crypto
Consulting.
information, and he's got, yes, like consulting, and he's got resources and all this stuff available to people. He works with the local FBI, the local police departments on crypto stuff. So I felt like he was pretty trustworthy. So I go and I talk to him, and he's like, well, your money's probably gone. This is actually all a scam. He's like, this is actually a very common scam these days. People get scammed all the time because these are actually very sophisticated scams. And he
Yeah.
explains how the scam works. And he was pretty much describing my life for the past couple months. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, but I could like, but if I didn't give him passwords, and he's like, okay, you didn't do that. And I said, no, I didn't. And I said, so I should be able to go in and maybe I could take the money before he finds out and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you can try, but chances are your money's already gone.
Wait, can you walk us through what
Oh.
he told you? Like, I want to hear him, the way he would describe this scam.
So I can try. I don't remember. Like,
Yeah,
again,
the
he's
best.
well versed.
Sure.
That basically
layman's terms.
right.
Please,
Right.
layman's terms.
That basically they fake a story, they put it on a dating app, they create and build a relationship with you, they convince you to invest in this crypto. They usually have you go into an app that they have, like they'll send you a link for an app, they'll send you, whatever, so they can manipulate what actually happens when the money gets there. And the money,
But he didn't do that.
but what you're seeing is what they want you to see.
Right. But did he send, I thought you got
He
the app
didn't.
yourself.
You're right. So this is
Yeah.
when I found out.
But the app was still on the App Store. She found it because he created the app.
Right. But I went back to the App Store because I'm like, maybe something happened and it's no longer there. It's gone. You can't
He
find the app.
created
The
it.
app is not in my purchase. Like it's not in my lists anywhere. That app is gone.
What?
And that you, again, said this was an app that you had Googled.
I had Googled the company.
The
The
company.
company, the
Yes.
Tick Mill company.
Tick Mill is the company and it is legit.
Oh my God.
So when I went to the App Store, it's gone. And I was like, what, oh my God. So I started ChatGPT, and ChatGPT tells me that, well, if it's not in the App Store, then chances are it was taken down it was fraudulent,
Right.
something was wrong with it, whatever. It was probably deleted.
Oh
Apple
my
found out
God.
that it wasn't legitimate. And I'm like, what do you
Oh
mean
my
the
God.
fake, like there could be a fake app on the App Store? I had no idea.
Anybody can
Yep,
create an
anybody
app if you
can.
pay for
And
it.
there's no vetting. So the app was gone. So luckily at one point I took a screenshot and I had at least the developer's name in the screenshot. So I Googled the developer
Good.
name, and the developer is a scam. It has
Oh
been
my
linked with many
God.
scams.
Oh,
And at this point, my panic
fuck.
is just growing. And so if you go out to Tickmill, you can find Tickmill operates in the UK. Tickmill does not actually operate in the US.
He could be
But
anywhere.
if you
Oh
look,
my
the logo,
God.
everything I had looked just like Tickmill. However, when I started digging a little deeper in Tickmill, I found out that this is not a Tickmill app. They have all their apps listed,
And this isn't
and
one of
this
them.
isn't one of them. So
Oh
now I
my
know
God.
Coinbase is real. The Coinbase wallet or base, whatever they call it, that is real. Those are both legitimate. But this Tickmill app was an app he created, modeled to look like Tickmill, operate like it would show me things. But basically, my money went in there and it was gone before anything could happen with it. So
He catfished you as Tick Mill.
Mhm. And so as
Oh
my
my
money was
gosh.
growing, it was him manipulating the app to look like I was actually putting money into a legitimate thing.
Because if he created the app,
Yeah.
he can put
He
whatever
didn't
he
need
wants
my
in the app
passwords.
to
He
say
didn't need
whatever
my
he wants.
logins.
No.
He had the
Oh
app
my God.
itself. And that's where all the money was being stored, was on that app. So all of my money was there. And I started looking into more things and more scam alerts start coming up. And I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I go in and then like I'm gonna make one last attempt to just take it all out. At this point, I feel pretty confident it's not real, but I'm like, one desperate effort, I'm gonna try. And I went in and the whole app just shut down. It was gone.
Can you tell us how much money we lost?
How much did you lose?
My entire savings.
How
Mary,
much was it?
Yeah.
Like thousands and
Uh-huh.
thousands?
I am so angry.
You didn't do the 401k thing, but it was your savings.
Right. So now
Okay.
I have realized my money's gone. The crypto guy was absolutely spot on. It was gone.
Oh my God.
And he isn't real. And so now I have to deal with not only the losing of my money, but the emotional
The heartbreak
Yes.
of like
yeah.
this person doesn't even exist. The money, it was almost like just a statement of fact. Like, okay, my money's gone. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but okay, that's a fact. I can move forward. I can take steps. I can go do these things. It was tangible, right? It was, I could make an
Yes.
action plan to address it. Allowing myself to be vulnerable and have these feelings for somebody or create a sense of like feeling like I was safe. And that's not the environment I came from in my life. So to have allowed somebody past that level of security into my world was harder for me, coming to the realization that somebody was able to manipulate so effectively my security system that I have put in place for so many years was devastating. You know, even though I knew factually he does not exist. A week later, I was like, I wonder how his dad did in the hospital. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, but he's not real. Why are you thinking of that? Like, this man literally made all that up. And I think the hurt and the anger I felt at myself was more in that than it even like the money sucked, but like that was the part where I was like, how dare you? You know better. Like you've never let somebody pass that wall. Like why did you do it this time? You didn't even meet him. And like in the moment, I remember just sitting in my office and I was like, I don't even know what to think, but it was like somebody dumped out all these pieces of a puzzle and they were slowly putting themselves together. And in my head, everything started coming together until it formed this whole picture. And I just went completely numb. I'm like, I don't know what my body doesn't know what to do. I don't know what to think.
God.
And so I'm like, I message him and I'm like, you scammed me. Like I mean, my language was not, there were a lot of words that I don't need to say, but there were a lot of words in there. And he was, you know, like I said, he threatened the money laundering. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. If you had put more money in, everything would have been fine. Everything was just a denial, or I don't think you know what you're talking about. And I was finally like, I can't. And so I blocked him. I'm like, I'm done. You are not a real person. I have lost a lot of money. I don't know what to do. And I feel like my world has just crumbled apart. So I start researching, what do you do? And so I filed multiple scam reports. You do one with the FBI, you do one with the police, you know, there's all this stuff. And because we were on WhatsApp, there is a transcript of our conversation. And so I had to attach that to every report. And every time I did it, it felt so humiliating and so violating that these law enforcement people were going to be reading things that and not even like, I mean, not even like weird or like it's nothing I shared
It's
that
just
I should be ashamed
intimate.
of, but just details about myself that I'm like, yeah. And every time I had to attach it, I could just feel a part of me like just dying inside. Like, I can't believe that I have to share all of this with this private stuff with all these people. I'm also so ashamed. I'm like, oh my God, I fell for a scam. And not only did I fall for it, I fell for it. Like there was a lot of money here that got involved. Why did I do it? You know, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm blaming myself. Like at one point I was like, I just want to go lay on my bed and let the world swallow me up. I can't believe this happened. I can't tell nobody. I don't want anybody to find out about this. And then I think finally I slept. Like at that point I hadn't slept in a long time. I think I finally fell asleep. And I remembered waking up and being like, okay, I have to tell somebody. Like I have to
Yeah.
tell my
Somebody.
friends. And the crypto person that I had talked to was so kind and was like, I just want you to know, like, some of the most intelligent people in crypto have been scammed in crypto scams.
Yeah.
Like, this is not about you. Please
Mm.
know that this happens so often. And it is not that you fell for this or that you weren't smart enough or he's like, they manipulate you from a psychological level. They
Mhm.
monitor your
Yes.
behavior. They have psychology people that are informing them how to respond to certain things and certain
No, yeah.
behaviors.
People don't realize that this is not one guy in his mom's
No,
basement.
no.
This is an office
This is a
sometimes.
group of
Yes.
individuals
This
who
is an
help each other
actual
traffic other
business.
people's
Right.
money.
And I think I had looked it up right after I talked to him, and the people from just the US lost billions in crypto scams last year. So
Yeah.
it was just really intense. And I was like, all right, I'm going to tell my friends. So I told my friends and I was embarrassed. Like to this day, I've never listed. The only people who actually know the final dollar amount are the police.
I understand.
It's, I'm like, I haven't shared it, but my friends, I have the most wonderful group of women around me who, I mean, they were checking in on me multiple times a day. The earth was not swallowing me up on their watch. Like that was not going to happen.
Yes.
They were, what can we do? What do we need to do right now? Do we need to do something financially? Do we need to, one of my friends flew out to spend the weekend with me because the gentleman had promised we were going to go to this one restaurant. And it's this very romantic restaurant here. And my friend flew out here to take me to that restaurant. And
our friends are our soulmates.
Right.
That is the freaking best ever.
Yeah, like these guys, I get emotional thinking about it. These guys, they weren't letting me face this by myself. And just an amazing group of intelligent, accomplished women. And there was never a comment about why did you do this? Or why would you we love you
They were
and
just
we're
supportive.
here and we're going to do
Yeah.
whatever we
Y'all,
need to.
I'm PMSing this week and
Yeah.
I'm going to cry. I love that so much.
Yeah, it was so meaningful though to know I have that in my life, especially in
That
such
is
a dark moment.
I'm so grateful. Shout out to your friends.
Yeah. They helped me come in it from okay, this sucks, but I have survived every crisis so far. I will survive this one, and I have the support that I need to do that. And I will say, they did try to scam me again. So one thing that most people don't know is after a crypto, especially romance scams, they will actually come back and try to scam you again. I don't use WhatsApp.
The audacity.
I don't use WhatsApp, right? Obviously, this was the first time I had ever used it. And probably about 4 weeks after this happened, I get a message from a woman telling me that she got scammed out of all this money. And my phone number was also included in the report that this tech person gave her. And I said, that's interesting. Really? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, so let me ask you, why would you reach out to me on WhatsApp and not call me or text me? Like if you have my number, why would you do that? Oh, well, she had all these things. I said, okay. So you have a tech guy, huh? Yeah, interesting. What's his name?
Yeah.
And she's like, he goes by code name, blah, blah. I'm like, this isn't a James Bond movie. I want to hear,
his name?
Give me his name. And she's,
honestly,
and
John, Mike,
right?
Steve, freaking code
So she's
name.
giving me all this stuff. And I'm just like, I know what this is. You guys are the only one. The scammer would have been the only one reaching out to me on WhatsApp. Nobody else
Wow.
does. And so she's like, well, he can get us our money back. And I was like, oh, how? Because that's really funny because she's like, well, they can do this. And she started using crypto terms. And I'm like, well, see, here's the problem is I actually learned a little bit about crypto and I know the terms and what you're using, you're not using it accurately. So thank you, but no thank you. Nobody can actually recover our money. We learned that when I talked to the FBI, when I talked to the police, and when I talked to the crypto guy. Nobody can recover my money.
I'll give them another call perhaps.
But yeah,
just to let them know about this conversation.
And so then
I wonder if that scam was going to be just paying him. Like if she was
that's
like,
what she was trying to get me to do was to pay for him to help us recover our money.
Right. Okay.
So that is the follow-up scam. But like when you go out and Google romance scams, they mostly talk about like somebody asking you to send them money because they need money for something or an investment, or them sharing links for you to share money on these links.
Yeah.
But I didn't do either of those. So here I am.
So it made you feel like you were doing things the right way.
I was like, I can't, this isn't a scam because I didn't do it that way. Nothing indicated to me that somebody could actually manufacture an entire environment in which I could be scammed out of a lot of money. I had no idea that fake apps existed. I didn't,
Well, it's new too.
Yeah, the scams are so sophisticated. Like Hannah said, these are people designing this in an office, right? These are multiple people doing this this is their job, is to scam
And
people.
I also, to take it a step further, we talked about this on our Patreon. I read an article about a man who was trafficked. He responded to a job posting and thought he got a job, interviewed for a job virtually, moved to the country, which was bordering his country, and suddenly was being trafficked into doing this. So he talks about, I scammed a woman because I was unable to leave. I couldn't get out.
Oh my God.
So even the scammers are sometimes victims, and it's like this crazy industry.
Yeah.
It's really, really wild. And that's why it's so amazing that you're here and talking about it.
I decided after, again, the support from my friends and talking with my therapist, of course, I said, you know what? If I stay quiet, nobody learns about what happened to me. And I Googled romance scams and it didn't really talk about this. So if I stay quiet, other women are not going to know about this. If I tell somebody and I tell people, I risk being embarrassed, but I could help somebody. And to me, that's more important, because if I can help somebody from not going through that experience and having the moment when you realize that everything was a scam and everything has collapsed, like if I can prevent somebody else from having to go through that, I'm going to. And I found a quote somewhere, I don't remember where it was, and it said, silence protects the scammers. Talking about it protects everyone. And it was something to I forget what the actual quote was, but it really was it was meaningful to me to be like, oh my gosh, you're right. So I started reaching out. I reached out to your podcast. I reached out to the crypto guy to say, hey, is there somewhere I can at least post my lessons learned so people can see them? And I wrote an abbreviated version of my story and posted it on my social media. Good. And you'd be surprised. A number of people reached out to me and were like, I got scammed too, but I just didn't want to say anything because it's embarrassing. And
because it's embarrassing.
Well, I was going to ask, did it help with your embarrassment to put it public? Wow.
Exactly. It did, because I felt like, you know what? The people who truly know me, you know that I am an intelligent woman. I'm not just going to fall for something. Like, clearly this had to be something very sophisticated and something what built enough legitimacy that I would believe it. You know, again, for somebody who's naturally very suspicious, like for me to believe that meant something. So I was like, those people will know. And if not, I at least told people, and I cannot tell you how many people have told me, I did not know there could be fake apps on the App Store.
Yes.
Yep. Everybody.
Well, because you're like, how do you create an app? Not a lot of people know how to create an app. So you're like, can you do that? Like, you need like to show a business license or something? Like, how does this go?
Also, the people who say they're too smart for getting scammed are the people who are the most vulnerable.
Right.
Which is, I mean, you know, one, you can live with that. You can live with somebody thinking something like that about you, especially if 10 other people for every one person that judges you is helped and learns more. But I worry about them. Right. Like, I genuinely worry about the people who are like, oh my God.
Right. That would never happen to me. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I will be the first to admit, every time I'd watch a documentary, I'd be like, that would never happen to me. And I would be judgy, right? In my head, I would be really like, why would you fall for that? Or why would you do that? But now I watch these things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could totally, no, I could see why you would think that. Or, I have this whole different perspective on
And a
how this
new
stuff.
empathy.
Yes, yes. Somebody, there was I've only had one person really that knows about this, that has been a little judgy and been like, why did you do it? And I'm like, don't judge it till you're there. Like, you, on the outside, it looks very clear cut. But keep in mind, you're looking at it from the end, right? You now know the person's scammed. Like, and we're watching these shows, we know what the show's about. Like, I know you got scammed. So it's easy for me to be like, well, why would you believe that? But then thinking of it in the moment, in the heat of the moment, things are happening, emotions are happening. It's easy to get wrapped up in that, or to think something and have your mind go in a certain direction. And it definitely has changed my identity, because I've been like, oh my gosh, here I am, this like, I can conquer anything. I got this, no one's scamming me. And now that I have that, I'm humbled. Just because I passed the phishing check at my company doesn't mean that I cannot be scammed. I have the realization that we are all human, and we're built to have connection, and to have these interactions, and have our emotions impact us, and we judging them doesn't do us any good. And somebody, and I can't remember who it was or what resource I was looking at, but they were like, they actually have people who specialize in human behavior and psychology who support scammer scripts. They help them write
God.
what to say and how to respond and do that, to be able to prey on people.
How do you live with yourself?
Right?
If that's how you make your
Right?
living. I mean, that's just so gross.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the FaceTime. That's so interesting.
Oh,
that
so
you did
what I
FaceTime the
what I
person.
did learn in looking back at the FaceTime, the fact that it was dim, the fact that he was wearing a baseball hat, the fact that he kept playing
he
with
was
something on
concealing
the
himself.
table, and that we only talked for a few minutes. I was also tired. He knew I was tired. It was late in the night. When I thought back to it, I went, wait a minute. Did he actually look me straight in the, like, did he actually look straight on for long enough for me to go, oh yeah, that's him? Or did I just, everything aligned and I was tired and I was like, oh yeah, that was him.
And he looked enough like him.
Yeah.
Could be an actor.
Right? Yeah, somebody said they could use filters too on certain apps and things. You have, there's filters that people could put on during, so they could even fake
and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I tell everybody, if you're going to download an app, triple check it. Like, don't just download it blindly just because you saw it somewhere. Like, double, like, check out. And everyone's like, but what do I look at? First, look at reviews. I'm like, look at how many reviews there are. There aren't a lot of reviews. That's a sign. If you read the reviews and they seem like bots are writing them, or they don't seem relevant, like
real grammar,
like, review that. Look at that. It's also, crypto is a very fast-paced process overall. And the scammer will feed on that pressure to get you to make an impulsive decision. And if you look it up, they will tell you that crypto, like if you Google it, they will talk about crypto being a fast-paced kind of thing.
Well, the best lies are closest to the truth.
Yeah.
And that's why crypto is, I mean, it's so controversial because it lends itself to scams so easily. Is it a thing that can be great? Sure. But
well, and there's so few regulations. Like as I went back and remember, as the pieces were coming together for me, I remember, like, I was like, wait, I remember him making a comment that I don't remember what it was now, but I remembered blowing it off and being like, whatever, it's just a comment he said in passing, because, oh, the bank wants to know why you're taking out this much money, oh, whatever. But then I thought about it through the lens of regulations and moving over to crypto, and I went, oh, that was probably why he said that. It probably did. He made it natural, so it seemed like the bank's probably going to ask you some questions, but that's just because you're just withdrawing a lot of money. When in reality, they're asking you those questions because they are trying to also determine if what you're doing is legitimate.
Wow. Wow. I'm glad you talked about the labor of having to like go through reporting this.
Oh my gosh, yes.
There's so much emotional labor to be a victim of something beyond.
Hannah, you make a good point when you say that. I love when you say that because it's true.
It's work.
To report it, you have to relive it.
Yes. And then they, like, when I got the police report, they're like, it was so You fill everything out online, right? Which, you submit all your stuff. And then they submit something to you again online. And they're like, oh, by the way, we're not investigating this because there's no point. But here's your police number or your report number. And it's like, oh, thank you.
That's
And
great.
yeah, it's
And it's still good that you did it because
right,
it could help a future case.
right.
But
It's
it's
to you to
tough.
get that email. It's like, oh, well, this isn't, we aren't going to do anything with this, but thanks for telling us. It felt so like, I don't even know what word I want, but it felt just dismissive.
It's like, dismissive.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel like you wanted revenge?
Oh,
Or
yes.
you wanted to find out more about him?
Oh, yes.
Or her or them? We don't know who it is.
I don't even know.
Did you take any steps towards that?
No, because
Good. That's great.
yeah.
Because that would probably be illegal to do your own investigation.
I was like, no, I wanted to, but I'm like, you know what though? I'm like, you don't. I watch shows all the time, and I'm like, oh, I could do that. No, I couldn't. Like the reality is I couldn't do it. Like I don't know how to do these things, and they make it look in a show like it's so easy to track whose IP address they used, or it's not. So I'm like, I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't even begin to know or know where to begin. But even at first, as much revenge as I wanted, and I wanted this person to really get it, I thought about it, and then to your point, how much energy can I put? I can't do anything. The money is gone. There is nothing that is going to satisfy that for me. And so putting the energy into thinking like, what could I do? I was like, that just wastes my time. It doesn't hurt him. He's probably off scamming somebody else, which is interesting because his
Yep.
pictures keep showing up in dating apps. I did forget
Shut
to
up.
mention that. I've actually
Because it's the same
reported, I
person
reported his profile multiple times. The last time they told me they will not do anything about it, even though I sent them pictures I'm like, here he is under this name. Here is the same pictures under this name and pictures under this name. And
Which apps? Is it Hinge and Bumble?
it was Hinge and Bumble. Facebook was the one that said they won't do anything. Hinge.
I was going to ask you about Facebook dating.
Facebook was the one who I reported it with the multiple pictures. And I said, here is this it's the same guy, you can tell, different backgrounds, but the same man, and different ages, different names, but they're all, again, the same person. And Facebook said they wouldn't do anything about it. Hinge, to my knowledge, I think they did remove him. He hasn't shown up again on
You
Hinge.
can't know for sure, but
yeah,
that's good. Hinge,
good. Yeah, good job.
Facebook,
right?
We're not thrilled with you,
right? He hasn't come up on.
But let me tell you something. You use a snippet of a video sound that does not belong to you, and they will block you for a whole year and demonetize you to punish you.
Really?
Yeah, their
Not that I have
system of
experience.
scanning for
It's stupid.
Things that are illegal is not ideal.
Yeah, I was like, what more do you need? Like, I'm showing you the same guy in the same pictures with all these different names. I'm telling you, he scammed me. I have a police report that says it, and you won't do anything about it. Yeah, it was kind of surprising, but
man. Well, thank you for coming and telling us. How are you doing now? I hope your health is okay.
Oh, yes, I am good. My health is good. I have an amazing medical team and doctors that are just phenomenal. And
I want to use some bad words to think about the person
right?
that found out about what you were going through this year.
Right.
And was like,
I'm going to use that.
This is a great person.
Right.
To target. I hate it.
Yeah. So no, I'm doing wonderfully. I am such a fortunate person. I have just an amazing group of friends and family who have shown me who they really are. These are the times where you get to learn who everyone is. And I have learned that
you get to figure out who's going to show up for you.
Yeah. And I have surrounded myself with some wonderful people. I am a take charge person. So I have a plan to, recover, I can't recover the money, but make the money back and, put it back in my savings account and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I have a strategy for that. And I'm just glad that 2025 is now over.
It's a new year, new year.
Right? And we can just focus on 2026.
Holy crap. Okay. So first of all, what we were talking about at the beginning with her having this perspective as a true crime girl, it made her even more vulnerable.
Yeah, because I I relate to that. When I started doing this podcast, I started questioning when I would have doubts in dating and relationship because I was like, is it just because I'm taking in so many stories that make me more
Yeah.
anxious? And I think
It's
she,
almost like you overcompensate.
yeah, she was like, I'm sabotaging. I am so into true crime that I am probably just sabotaging a good thing.
Yeah, I'm just being crazy because I just like true crime stuff, and so not everything is a true crime. So she overcompensated almost.
And it also makes you feel smart. Like you're like, I'm not going to get scammed because
But I'm a true crime girl. This can't
yeah, I
happen
know
to
what's going
me.
on.
I know what to look for.
So I feel like
And to
most of
be
our
fair,
listeners are
she did
true
because
crime
she
fans.
wasn't opening any links from him. She found the app on her own. He never asked her to send money. She felt like she was in control. But also, these scam artists aren't professionals, but these actually genuinely were professional scam artists.
Oh yeah. No, you mean
And
like we always say dogfish are like pros, but these are actually pros. This is what they do
actually
for a living
pros.
and there's an industry. Like
Yeah.
these people have templates written by psychologists and they build them out with a team so that it's just a
They know how to
fine-tuned
manipulate
machine.
you.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we talked about it with her, but there's so much that goes into these. And I encourage everyone to research them. We did an episode on Patreon about, what's it called again? Pig butchering.
Pig butchering.
Right.
Where they fatten the pig and fatten the pig. And then when it comes to the final slaughter, they have as much of your money as they can get.
As much of your trust as they can get. I mean, it's
and
just,
your trust.
it's
And
bonkers.
the romance scam, we're talking about the crypto love bombing.
Well, we should go through some signs of that. This is not a comprehensive list, but let's just kind of rapid fire signs of a financial crypto scam. I think one of the big ones that comes up consistently is that they have a tragic backstory.
Yeah, that's a common one.
He did. And I also was wondering, I wonder how much of her social media is public because she talked a lot about how he would say things that she had in common with him before they knew.
Because he had that was a good point you just made because I wondered.
Like, did she share that her father passed of COVID on social media and then he was able to make up the story about his wife? Like, I imagine they do their research on you. So if it's too good to be true.
Moving to private channels like the WhatsApp.
Yep.
Red freaking flag.
Signal is another one as well. Signal is like
that's because it's
encrypted. And it's funny. I joined it honestly, it was probably a scam that I was like, let me just see if this is real. But I knew, hey, who knows? I could have fallen in for it. My friend got a notification, I guess, that I was joining Signal and he's a crypto guy. And he was like, hey, why are you joining this? The only time people I know that join this is usually for scams unless they're in crypto. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
And what was the other thing? Oh, rapid relationship growth, where they are able to, in this case, I don't think it was rapid, but I do think that when it came to the emotional side of it, the romance, the romantical feeling of, oh, I really like this guy and he knew everything about me and he asked questions about me. And that's some of what these professionals do is they know how to get you to trust them. And that is to ask you about you, not to get you to trust them, but it's so that you feel safe that they're asking about you.
Behavior tracking, she mentioned, once they learn about you, they feed into that. The future promises, the fake fantasies that he was delivering for her just builds the world. And obviously this is a red flag. They didn't meet. He was making it very hard. The pressure.
The excuses of not being able to meet. And then the coincidence of, oh, I can't meet you at this time all of a sudden or whatever. And the dimly lit video chat where she couldn't really see him and he was fidgety and that kind of stuff.
I also, this didn't happen here, but celebrity scams, celebrity endorsements. Often some financial scams start with somebody thinking they're talking to someone who is a celebrity.
Yes. That's very true.
Oh,
but it's the emotional thing for me because if someone gets you in your heartstrings, it's those Me Too moments that create that sense of trust, that sense of connection, that bond. And I think it was the ultimate victim and it really sucks.
It's so true, and I'm glad she talked about the way he tried to scam her again. I laugh because it's so crazy, and I didn't know that that was so common, but that was great information that
But
if
what's the worst thing you say is no.
well, exactly. That's
You know what
such a
I
good
mean? Like,
point. They might as
they
well.
could totally
Last
just do it
ditch
again.
effort. So that's good to look out
And then
for.
also you're thinking, well, there's no way this is gonna happen to me again.
Yeah. Ugh.
And so I also Googled just real quick when we were talking about like how to report crypto scams. And just real quick, it says the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, which that is something that you can do. And again, they don't immediately investigate it, but it's always important to make a report of that because if enough people do, then they can start creating drawing those lines and connecting those points to one another. The FTC, so reportfraud.ftc.gov, and your state's attorney general and relevant financial regulators like the SEC and the whatever exchange you use to get so that you can try and get your funds back, but that's not super
I
common.
know. Okay, that's
Mm.
really helpful. I mean, if anybody else has experience similar to this, we're so open to hearing your story, whether you just want to share it on Patreon or social media, or if you do ever want to submit a story, this or any dogfish story, email us, investigate at thedatingdetectivespodcast.com and put in the subject something about your story. Yes, thank you, Mackenzie. I see you smiling. I got the email right.
I was like, nailed it.
Nailed it. I also just going back to the very beginning, because I think this can apply to other manipulation, just other experiences. It doesn't just have to be a scam like this. When she said, he must know things that I don't, when she was feeling that way at the initial conversation, she was just kind of, I just related so much to that experience of going into a relationship, being like starry eyed and thinking the world of them and just kind of assuming that they are probably superior to you. And I think that's so common. I don't know why we all are so insecure, but I just want us to build up our security so that if we don't know something, it doesn't mean that we're not as smart. It just means that we don't know that one thing.
True intelligence actually comes from people saying, you know, I don't know that.
Right.
What is the answer to that? And being willing to say that out loud. What is the answer to this? I don't know. Let me find out.
Right. And they don't know any more than we do. Even if they know more about a subject, like I'm talking broad, you know everything you need to know in order to protect yourself and trust yourself. And I wish we could all get better at not falling for these big talkers, because I'm just so guilty of it too. It's so easy.
They're
to be
so
like,
good at it
wow.
though. There's nothing wrong with you. They are just good at
They're
it.
good at it. And we look for people, like I remember in college dating someone who I thought was really smart because it made me feel smart and I was insecure about being smart. You know what I mean? Like they just, you know what you're looking for and you build that up for yourself, and that's human.
So I'm so grateful for Mary for sharing her story. And if you have something similar, send it over. We want to know it.
If you have safety tips or information that you feel like would be helpful, or just support for Mary, we'll pass it along to her.
Yeah, for sure.
And come to Patreon so we can chat more.
You'll love the Patreon. I love our group of Patreoners. It's so cool.
Yeah. Well,
again, Happy New Year.
Happy
Our
New
New Year's
Year.
resolution is basically don't trust anybody. No, I'm kidding.
Except yourself.
Our New Year's resolution is trust your femtuition.
Yep. Trust your femtuition and dump him.
Hey, ain't cute. He's just tall, girl.
He's
dump
just
him.
tall. Oh my God. We love you guys so much. And 2026 is going to be amazing, especially for Mary. She really went through it in 2025.
Yeah, she's grateful for a new year. So anyways, as always,
trust your femtuition.